Welcome to the Enlighten Up podcast, where I am going to take you into a deep exploration of what it means to exist in this current reality. We are going to raise your vibes, open your mind, expand your heart, and dive deep into the wondrous mysteries and possibilities of this lifetime. There's been a spiritual catalyst that has set in motion the awakening process of many across the globe to return to the knowingness of self and unite what has been separated. Together, we're going to bring light into that darkness. We're going to remember the joy of living. But most of all, we're going to turn up the volume of our own eternal power and do the thing we're here to do.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Enlighten Up podcast. And as always, I've got Mary Dusina here with me to do our astrological breakdown for this full moon in Aquarius. We're going to give you all of the details, everything you need to be aware of what's shaken down in this exciting month of August. Mary, how are you doing? So good to have you back on the show. What have you been up to in this wonderful Mercury retrograde?
Thank you. And hi, audience. Hi, it's Leo Shine. And bless you, Nicole, and all that we do to give and receive. May all of us in this Leo season be aware of the fact that it's okay if we receive. We give, we hope, we desire. It's time to receive and be refreshed by that. Spirit's been getting my attention, working with me with a lot of sky signs and medicine totem teachers. And it's like really, it's out of there's a lot of that like there is out west. There's a lot of that when you get in the mountains and the mountain life and the Appalachians, and it's thriving with the heat of the growing season of summer on the medicine wheel. And so there's a lot of activity on sky and earth anyway, but when you have things that are real attention grabbers, and with all these star showers and the Perseids and all these things coming up, it's a big alignment on August 10th. So we're feeling the surge of light. And I feel like that this particular Aquarian energy, I believe it's like a deep, like we're walking into portals and closets at the same time, like we're kind of doing a shift of a priority currency of our energies. But, the moon, when Grandmother Moon is strong in the tarot card, the star in the sign of Aquarius, the one that bears the water bearer of the heavens, there's like a communion and a baptism of the heavens and earth as above, so below. Aquarius is the polarity opposite to our current celestial solar season of Leo. And Aquarius is our ability it's almost like there's a lot of energy out there. There's a lot of animal and primal, and this is primordial, and this is palatable, and it's somatic. And the lion is saying, I'm encouraging you. There is a baptism and a communion and an ascension energy that's going on. You must let go and become unleashed of those past drag lines or leashes or hindrances. And so the Aquarius is like, remember, you are creator. You are one with creator. You are continually ascending. You are continually birthing and breathing and one with divine fire and the breath of the alchemical all that is. And so the Aquarius is that electricity and the yang and the stars, and the medicines, all the various medicines that empower us and guide us and direct us, and how we're to be reminded how we're connected to Creator. That's really kind of how it's blooming for me.
Yeah. It's, August is an interesting month because we have a lot going on. It's truly, when we talk about this full moon in Aquarius, that it talks about the electricity and all of that. And we think about, where is Uranus right now? It's in Gemini, which is the sign of duality, the polarities, all of that kind of stuff. And it is a very polarizing month in many ways because we have some very strong, challenging aspects, but then we have like the most amazing ones as well. So it's kind of like it feels like this beginning of August is kind of putting us through a little bit mini gauntlet, so to speak. But at the same time, it's not going to do it without giving us like the answers are going to come. What we need is like there's going to be, I don't know, just a breath of fresh air that comes in that kind of clears out all the old and maybe opens up new opportunities that you didn't know were there. But, and I think that's part of it. It's like there's a clearing happening, so that new things that are needed can come through. So it's an interesting month, but this particular full moon in Aquarius, it's definitely, bringing up a theme of, are you living your truth or are you kind of performing it for approval, like that Leo energy opposing Aquarius. And so there might be a gap for many of us between who we say we are and who's actually showing up. And it might be subtle, but this moon is kind of, putting that spotlight on that. So I think in that case, what gets challenged are some old friendships or maybe group dynamics might start to feel off. I think some people might suddenly feel drained by certain conversations where you used to maybe shrink to fit in, and now you're realizing I can't do that anymore. Maybe there might be a pull to express more honesty, but might be experiencing that fear of being too much or not enough, still kind of lingering in the background. So it's almost like if you've been editing yourself to stay comfortable or liked, this full moon is kind of blowing that up a little bit. When I say blowing up, I mean just putting light on it, and saying, hey, that's not going to work for your future because Aquarius is all about your future visions. What is it that you want, right? This is much more of a progressive moon. It wants you to change for the better, not just for the sake of change, but change for something that's more aligned with who you're becoming, your wishes and fulfillments for the future vision that you hold. And so the undercurrents of this moon are kind of bubbling up to really make you feel ready to make maybe bolder moves, even if there is a fear of rejection behind it. I think there's also maybe this tolerating of subtle power plays in certain relationships where maybe now you might be over it. Maybe there might be some edginess to the emotions in this full moon in Aquarius, one where you might want to cry or scream and just not know why. It's interesting. Like this energy, it's not here to necessarily break you, but it's here to show you what kind of masks maybe that you've outgrown. And I think that's what's important here because we are definitely in a very fast forward moving timeline, right? There's something about Pluto being in Aquarius and all the planets changing this year, like all the outer planets really changing this year, that is really solidifying that we're not in Kansas anymore, Mary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we're getting all 4 requests that they carried around to the Grand Wizard of Oz when they weren't in Kansas anymore. The feeling of like, oh, if I only had a brain, if I only had a heart, I need courage. I want to get back home. And so there was the brain, there was the heart, there was the need of courage, and how do I find my way back home? So it takes home as one with the Creator. Aquarius, besides the visions and the manifestations and the alchemical processes of manifesting and having vision of our future now and working with it as a symbiotic timeline of creation, Aquarius is about there is no limit to the sky. When they say sky's the limit, there is consciousness and there is frequencies, and you have incredible available currencies of energy all around you, and you can work with all kinds of different modes and beliefs and words that dance off the screen. You can work with things that are illuminating. There's spotlights, there's center stage, Leo stuff, there's flair, there's sassy, there's savvy, and then there's the grace and the eloquence of Mars moving into the sign of Libra over the 6th and 7th of August as this full moon blooming out with the energies of Venus and Jupiter and Cancer by the 10th, we have the bloom of the 16, 17 degree of Aquarius that's saying there is no limit, all is one. What is it that you can allow yourself to receive? Because the starlight, the starry waterfall of Aquarius constellation is literally open now. Open eyes, third eye, thine eye be single. We're literally pouring the illuminations of heaven right central into you. You are the performance. You are the script. You are everything that you will want to stimulate someone with the joy of your company, and how you want to see what you can receive to allow yourself to be very blessed at this time in your life. And then that automatic, as my feet hit the pathway of my life at whatever biological crossroads I am at, this is the time that matters. This is the gift called the present. And Leo is reminding us, as the moon is full in its polarity opposite sign of Aquarius, it's reminding us with that yang energy, Leo yang, Aquarius yang, literally the symbol of Aquarius to an architectural design person is the symbol of the wavy lines of electricity. And so we have the electrical aspects of courage, encouragement, inspiration, aspiration, actions taken with diligence and determination in order to step by step, or be able to take a leap of faith even when all of a sudden these things are dropped in our lap as a great treasure in this lifetime, a moment of, like, my God, resplendent joy, as well as the challenges that kind of knock our feet out from under us sometimes. So there's a rare planetary alignment, like a little wink in the sky that's happening with this Lion's Gate, the infinity symbols of the 8 that happens when we look at the same numbers in a month in numerology, like July 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, August Leo, and that affinity, the energy of the 8. And so what we're creating, what goes forth, comes back to us, and the planets of on the 10th, as well as meteor showers happening as well, bouncing into the 12th and the 13th of August, and Mars moving into the gracious, harmonious, and diplomatic and agreeable, and the win-win, the scales of justice, Libra, the scales of justice, as that's all spinning around. And as Nicole said, they're getting along with the air sign of Gemini, and this is an air sign full moon in Aquarius with instigating Pluto in Aquarius. And so the Aquarius is getting along with the Aries placements of Saturn and Neptune. And so what we have with this Aquarius is a deeper transformation, because we have our luck, our most benevolent planet, Jupiter, as August began, is full. It's forward, it's full, and it's exalted in the sign of Cancer, because it's the moon sign. And so Jupiter's happy to give in a nurturing way. An Aquarius moon, as we're actually going through the aspects of how the light is glowing on our path and erasing any shadows of fear or doubt, what's happening is we get this energy of, I'm going to try something different. I'm not going to be held by the past only, or someone else's external opinion, or even my own ability to criticize or shame, blame where I'm at in my life at this time, or what I want. And am I satisfied, and am I grateful? Am I content? Might I look at some of those where I could add a little bit of light sweeping and clearing and cleaning to any of those areas of discontent in my life right now? It's like a garden. I'd like to weed it. I'd like to feed it. I'd like to clear it. And I'd like to see things be seeded and bloom and blossom and grow. So the Mars in Libra is kind of like a trumpet announcing the next seasonal focus. When we get to the west on the medicine wheel, or we get in the northern hemisphere, when we start to have the beginning of Libra, or the autumnal equinox. So we're in August right now. And so this is the power of Leo, the strongest sign for the sun, saying, I am the light. I am the light. I am that I am, one with the light. It's Leo season 2025. Where can you receive more light in your life to be able to let you see clearer with this empowering light, as one with it, to also clear and cleanse any hindrances or deleterious energies or blockages and illusions, any kind of stop guards. It's forward go. Even though there's a lot of retrograde planets, it's still forward go. We've got these surges of energies of Venus and Cancer aligning with Jupiter on the 10th, and it's wonderful types of things. And the Aquarius factor getting along with the Aries factor, so that is innovative. It is, this Aquarius full moon is saying, look at the cray-cray in your life. Look at how bizarre certain events or people can be with those rapid fire type of life entrapments and life liberations, and just how it can be such a theme and just a certain way for a while. And boy, we are in that karmic lesson, and that is definitely a pattern that's repeating. And then all of a sudden it's just like, yes, victory. I am not a victim. I have achieved a victory on that. Dang, that was an intense teacher. So, you know, when you're playing around with Leo and Aquarius energies, before you get into all the myriad of detail of signs and where it hits in our charts and everything, first and foremost, the headlights are Leo and Aquarius. Yeah. It's like, you know, you've got like this whole big light platform up on your Jeep or your Bronco or something. It's like there's extra illumination and after factory add-ons to the vehicle that you're driving, and you like being able to see on the road and see ahead of things. It's all of that clear vision, clairvoyance. That's the Aquarius type of frequencies, but there's an electricity to it right now there's a sudden wind. There's an intensity of like, whoa, what, really? Here in this town, in this state, in this country, what just happened? What? Tsunami? Then there wasn't? Where'd that go? What? Okay. And so then it starts to invoke our mystical, solid, foundational platforms of discernment. And like, wait, I'm not just testing the air here. I'm going to do a little inventory with my discernment on the intention. And is there any need for releasement or toxicity shutdown in myself or externally? What needs to be cleared here in my internal closets for me to be able to say, no, I don't need to learn my lessons that way with stress or distress or frustration. I will listen to my emotional intelligence. I will let the eyes of my soul aligned with the I am to reveal to me. I will not enable or allow deleterious energies or abuses. This is the time where you get to see it for what it is. This is headlights. This is spotlight. This is the full blaze of the sun in the day, the radiations of the sunrise and the sunset, lighting up the cloud beings, the sky world. This has to do with, hi, I'm going to give you some revelations. This is a revelatory time right now. And Mars is also joining that energy of Gemini and Aquarius and Libra. I am the capstone of the pyramid. I am the all-seeing eye. What right now might you prioritize as your top 3 things that you would like your eye to remain single into and upon? That's the apex. That's the A of Aquarius. That's the alpha of the omega. This is about its alchemical time. It's the star in the tarot. It's the 6 of swords in the tarot. It's the ferryman that is traveling and allowing the movement and the currents of waters of life to flow, to be able to level up and resonate and clear out. It's kind of like a changing of the guard. You're both the guard and what it is that you're protecting or walking into. It's a type of, you graduated from the school, you got the job, you did that for a while, and now it's like, oh, okay, this is my passion fruit. I'm drinking and eating the passion fruit in the garden of life. This is what I can really feel that I'm being led into right now. So there's a lot of beginnings, even though there's a lot of planets retrograde. It's like a little bit of a refresher course, like a little weekend to where we're processing some choosing solitude or not so much public surroundings to be able to purge a lot of things that are going on a psychological, emotional level, with the benefit of these air and fire signs giving us clarity in what thoughts are the arrows of truth and insight and empowerment. So there's a lot of energy coming at us right now, but we're lions and tigers or bears in the fields and the forest of revelation and truth. And so our roots are grounded and our branches and trunks are raising up more into the light, and the cloud beings and the heavens and the stimulus of the thought world and the inspiration and the creative and the receiving world are very activated right now. And we are antennas.
Yeah.
We are antennas.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's so cool about this full moon in Aquarius is that the modern ruler Uranus is now in Gemini for the first time in over 80 years, right? So this is a very interesting full moon for us. And, Uranus, therefore, like the moon's getting some of its little marching orders from Uranus and where it sits. And Uranus, there's a couple really interesting things about what's going on. And Mary definitely touched on some of them already because Uranus being in the sign of Gemini, that's definitely about our mind. It's about our ideas, our messaging, and our multidimensional perception. So, this full moon, which we typically think can be very, very emotional, a lot of full moons are, but this is one is definitely rewiring your mental field. It's really kind of upgrading how you think and speak and interpret your reality. If you feel like there's old narratives that are going on, they're going to likely be glitching. Maybe you're using outdated language and now it's like getting some kind of rejection there. And also, like any kind of mental loops that you feel like you're kind of running on, those will also feel like they're short circuiting. There's kind of like a brainwave reboot coming in with this full moon, at least in the beginning stages of it, because what is so beautiful about this particular full moon in Aquarius is that its ruler Uranus is in a grand trine to Mars in Libra and Pluto in Aquarius. So, what does that mean? It means your thoughts, your desires, and your power are finally starting to sync up. And so during this full moon in Aquarius, it is very possible, very, very possible that even though it's going to express some sort of emotional incongruence with you on like maybe how you're showing up, what you think your mission is versus like what you really want to do, there you're going to have the opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity in this full moon for like rapid downloads, like truth bombs, dropping faster than you can even like process. Maybe even a sudden urge to speak clearly and boldly without any kind of filter, without trying to sugarcoat it. And that doesn't mean you're an a-hole, it just means like you're really getting like there's something very crisp and clear that you want to say. There might even be some sort of mental rebellion against like old rules or roles or scripts that, you're like, I'm not playing by that anymore. I'm not saying that kind of thing anymore. And then I think also that multidimensional clarity that can come through of being able to see through the BS, even your own BS. So this moon is really electric, like Mary said, and very, Aquarius is known as like the rapid download, the rapid insight, the genius, the aha. It's the higher self speaking to you. And it's just like it'll be these moments where you're like your higher self reaches you in an instant, like a lightning bolts. And so you may be realize in one moment, oh, I've been living an outdated version of myself. And in the next moment, wow, here's exactly what needs to change. It'll be like boom, boom. Like you're going to realize, oh man, this isn't working. Oh, well, here's my solution, right? So Uranus in Gemini is really infusing this moon with perhaps some of you are going to have some real shocks of insight that really feel like big truth bombs. Doesn't mean it's emotional drama. It's just going to be facts that you really can't ignore. There might also be some sort of unfiltered conversations that are going to start changing dynamics within relationships. So, what has been unsaid before is now just too unbearable to not say it, which means truth is finding its voice. And then, of course, Aquarius, you can't talk about it, and even Gemini, without talking about tech, communication, and information clarity, right? So, you might shift how you use your social media, how you use your voice, how you actually say your message. It might be suddenly and very decisively. There's also, because Aquarius rules like networking and groups and things of this nature, there might be like new networks between soul contracts and mentorship coming up. So watch out for maybe some new aligned ones, connections coming in fast, especially if old ones are clearing out because it's a full moon. This could be sometimes a culmination, but it could also be sometimes an ending for certain things. But that's because new is wanting to come in, and that's what Aquarius is all about. Aquarius is all about let's get better. Better so the future is better, right? The change is important. It means we need to disrupt something because it's not evolving us. And this is where also you may realize that your mission isn't evolving in the way that you should be allowing it to. Sometimes, this is a conversation, Mary, I literally had this conversation on a podcast earlier this week that isn't going to come out till the end of
Mhm.
the month. But um, really understanding like sometimes we get so caught up in what we think our mission is, like in a sense of, I'll just use myself as an example. Okay, like I was a massage therapist, right? I was a massage therapist for, I don't know, 10 years. And then I was like, what I really want to go into a deeper level of healing. I want to work with people emotionally, but I've been a massage therapist and a yoga instructor and a personal trainer, like, working with the body, the body, right? And I'm like, I really want to transfer into the soul. And but you get into this idea like, but what am I just supposed to abandon all of that? Isn't that what I was supposed to do? And then I went in more into life coaching and all that kind of stuff. But then I like all of a sudden I'm like, well, I want to do inner child healing. I want to do all this. And then now I'm working with tech in a completely more evolved way. And I had to stop doing certain things and say, you know what? All of those things served me and they got me to where I am. And I'm still going to utilize some of those skills, but where I know my mission is evolving and calling me to step into means I have to let go of some of those things. They can't necessarily really be defining me or be part of my journey in the way that they were. And I have to allow this bigger thing to now step forward. And sometimes I think with this full moon in Aquarius too, there's an evolution that's wanting to come forward of saying, hey, this is who you are now. Stop acting like the person you've been and start recognizing who you've been growing into and allow that part of you to shine.
Powerful. Every day, a new path. Every day, a new path. And I think that the Aquarius adds, think of it in a sense of new spices or flavors that maybe this is that day that you try a new flavor or a new spice or a new multicultural food or drink that you've never tried before, or healing balm or plant. So the Aquarius energy is about, I'm here right now, involved with the thread and the web of your future by helping you understand from the past ancestors. So any kind of spiritual, cultural teaching that remembers and honors the elders, the wise men, the chiefs, the women of the tribe, the pirates and the winches on the high seas, any of these wildly independent, vagabond, gypsy type of lifestyles of like when we've had that soul awareness incarnation, whatever you want to call it, of I'm a free bird, I'm free and wild, and this is a wild idea, and how crazy would that be? The Leo's the fire sign, the second fire sign. The fire, the fuel that's fanning the flames with the Leo season that's different in 2025 with these retrograde dynamics going back and forth, like we're weaving things. We're looking at the weave and the design of things. The Leo energy is adding connection and the charisma. Those could be attention grabbers right now because of what Nicole was talking about, these very quick uploads and these very quick shock and awe type of attention getters. And so in the Aquarian moon then, because soon we're coming into the season, at the next new moon, it's the season of Virgo that starts. We've just been dealing with Mars in Virgo and Venus in Gemini. August begins with Venus joining Jupiter in Cancer. On August 6th, Mars slid in to the air sign of Libra. So we've got this diplomacy and this camaraderie, and we're finding our tribe and our team. We're finding new members on the team to achieve a different kind of platform of increasing our outreach, our growth, et cetera, et cetera. When we get to the second half of August, even though we're still dealing with the fiery flames and the fire energies and the transformative dynamics involved with the Leo and its polarities through the 22nd, 23rd of August, the second half of the month offers us devotion to what we value. So devotion to value, whether it's me valuing something for myself, me seeing the value in another. So the first part of this has to do with the connection and the charisma. These are tools. Just see what these words ignite in you as an intuitive. I can tell you it'll unlock, it'll provide for you, it'll unlock your own next levels of intuition, because we're drawn to those words, connection and the charisma. So that starts to go click, 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 click within you, like all the way into the entirety of this full moon cycle and the 2 weeks that take us to the start of Virgo. So we're walking the path. Every day is a new path. It's absolutely a new path. If it's in the same month, if it's in the same zodiac sign, if something's, it's still every day is a new path, because divine consciousness has offered us choice-based experience. We make the choices. We react by choice, we act by choice, we grow or we stagnate by choice. So the ego has a voice. The ego has a voice. So does our subconscious. So do our habitual patterns. So I would say with this particular Aquarius moon, the great way that Nicole was platforming the electricity of the new innovative way and ideas and dreams and visions, the electricity of Aquarius right now reminds us and allows us to re-remember how powerful we are as avatars and as divine students, taking the knees, surrendering to the lights of love, making that dedication very clear within ourselves for both our belief and our purposefulness that this is what I ascribe to. This is what works for me. This is what I believe. And is it something that is spreading the light, the devotion, the value, and the priority of peace? So finding those rooms within ourselves right now, fit the nodes, fit the planetary retrogrades, and open up the door for the specifics out of your own chart kind of things and where the sign stands.
Yeah. So like Mary said, she's talk about it, every day's a new path, right? So let this full moon be your permission slip to disrupt whatever narrative you've kind of identified with or believe the one you're kind of, you have to keep explaining like, this is who I am, because maybe who you are now is a little bit different. It should be a little bit different, right? So it's kind of like this full moon is kind of clearing static in the mind so the future can actually download really clean for you. Imagine there's no disruption to the future downloading. So Uranus is definitely the update, Gemini is the install, and this moon is your total reboot. So this is a soul upgrade to your operating system in many ways, so that your future is more in alignment with you. And that's one of the beautiful things, because I think this grand trine is really special. What do you make of these sextiles, like to Saturn and Neptune, like the sextile to Pluto, the sextile to Uranus? I mean, having these in the sky, like this is a powerful kite formation in this moon. Like even though the moon is not in the kite, it's like a very powerful one.
It is. And then that alignment over the 10th of Venus and Jupiter, the last day of July was the Mercury Sun Cazimi in the sign of Leo, which is the sign that the sun dances the fiercest and just boom, 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 the dancing, the ritualistic release of all the energies and the frequencies, the heartbeat, our hearts are our drum beats of our divine temple. So this is like the call of the wild. It's the divine drumming. It's sound healing. It's up-leveling with what we are to address in any particular realm of healing that we might allow and receive the grace of course correction and the grace of all is restored, all is well with my soul. The Leo doesn't mess around. The Leo is the light to say, okay, I'm here. Can you handle it? Can you handle it? If we align it, we clear it, we fortify it, and all that what you thought in your mind was going to be, oh my God, what I'm going to have to go through with this, and oh boy, my life is busy, I didn't need this to happen. So those kind of things of, oh, I just found out something I never knew my whole life. So there's a lot of like verbal trumpets. There's a lot of arriving intelligence and energy. And again, I can't stress it. I said it in the February part of this year. The best tool for every sign, all of us, any cultural belief system, is for us to be able to feel this feels like a win-win for all involved. Nobody gets hurt. Nobody's taken down. This is all, like, do that self-check. Like do your checkup with your own energies, your chakras, however you want to dance into it. Move and feel where the tension is in your body. Leo is the animal, the mammalian animal that's on the move. It's maybe on the prowl. It may be taking an afternoon rest before the hunt. It may be after the hunt, and then there is the feeding, and then there is, that pause between the next need to feed or hunt. So we're in all these. Think about the lion as a creature. Think about tigers and lions and the whole feline, the cats you've owned, the feral cats that have shown up, the part of you that would be like a cat. Anything to do with the difference between like a dog totem and a feline teacher is that it's a different kind of courageous independence, curiosity, and there's where I think a lot of the charisma and the connection comes. If it feels charismatic, we're automatically going to electrically and magnetically connect to it because we recognize it. We recognize it. It's our way home. It is home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
It
I
is
mean,
home. And then we've got Mercury going direct, and
yeah,
and
yeah.
Leo.
Yeah, just a few days after. Well, I mean, I don't feel like we can truly do this podcast episode justice if we don't talk
Right,
about the
right.
beautiful conjunction of Jupiter in Cancer. Sorry, Jupiter and Venus in Cancer with the star Sirius.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
this is coming in
Yeah,
right on the heels of this full moon. So, right after this full moon, we are going to have this beautiful, magical, benefic conjunction in the sky in Cancer where Jupiter is exalted, and it's going to be happening with Venus and the star Sirius. Mary, can you share with us what you pick up from this little alignment? A little.
my 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 intuitive antenna says it's 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 a revelation and it's a reset at the same time. It's a recalibration, I'll say, of the Divine Mother, and it has to do with a wonderful recognition of the powers of our inner child, Leo. And so it's about whatever biological or energetic age or timestamp that you're at. For all of us simultaneously, this has to do with the inner child that's happy, the inner child that feels at peace with all the Cancerian configurations of home and hearth, and I have my shelter. I know who always has my back, Leo, the back and the heart. So this is a time where the heavens, our ancestors, regardless of what we had a plus or a minus with mommy and daddy or foster or adopted or whatever, this is our divine blueprint. This is the skies. This is the heavens declaring the purposefulness of the presence of who you are and the reminder of the choice that you have to stay right where you are, continue with your path, and feel that divine contentment with that, to choose that this is a crossroads. This is a crossroads. 2025 and 2026 intuitively are revealing to me, and emotionally and in the 3D physical world revealing to me, big shifts are going on in the world, in my life, and I am to do my discernment clearing, my discernment techniques and things that I learn always as student and hopefully as teacher to bless others quicker, better, firmer. Some things we just have to grow from by going through them though. So this is one of those cycles. This is like, here's your reward to your inner child. Here is your child with the spotlight. Here is the divine anything that ever held or hugged or divinely canopied us. This has to do with any plant that you ever enjoyed, that tomato, that flower, your favorite flower, of how the Earth Mother said to you, this right here, look at this up in here. So everything to do with the song that still resonates with you, everything to do with the Earth life is the Divine Mother, Earth Mother, Grandmother Moon. And at this cycle, what they're saying is, well done. Well done, my child. Your ancestors are nodding. Your ancestors are nodding. There is the ancient thanking languages that are being sounded out, those the electrical frequencies that you're being fed with and that you're feeling, mahalo, aho, wanka, danka. It is, I am, and so it is. And so this is that cycle of where the divine fire and the divine message are happily in alignment and at one with.
Yeah.
Kind of sort of thing.
Yeah, no, it is like there's a return of very wise feminine energy building from
Yep.
more of like your essence, not effort, right? And I
Yep.
love that it's also bringing in a galactic theme, from ancient Egypt to the doggone. So it's it is an anointing of the sacred feminine energies in practice, where like we think about Cancer, definitely we think about the mother, we think, but it's also about, really, we think it's the home, right? And what is your soul's home? It's your body. So there's this beautiful moment where your body may become a transmitter and your heart is truly like the throne in all of this. And I think because Venus rules like relationships and things of that nature, this could be where a relationship could even be a portal, or, revealing some kind of pattern that really opens up here for you. It could be really feeling a call to upgrade your relationships, not just one, but many, maybe many, with more love, more devotion, more worth. And this is going to be a very, very powerful day. So what is this? This is is it on the 11th or the 14th?
Are you talking about Venus and Jupiter?
Yeah, Venus and Jupiter.
Like it's amplified by on the 10th into the 11th. So we go, if you look at the 2 days before this full moon, it's building from 8-8 dynamically direct on the 9th, and then the frequencies. So the frequencies coming in 8-8, 8-9, and then on August the 10th, it's the blast, it's the bloom.
Okay.
It's like you blow the dandelion, and all those seeds of light at the World Tree and Avatar are out there, and they have a place to go. And that's why I mentioned at the beginning of the show, check the Leo part of your chart, look at where the spotlight is. The Aquarius full moon has a lot to do with the inner glow matching the empowerment spotlight that's upon you. The inner child is happy. But there's another component to this, is the work as students that we can answer truly for ourselves, to ourselves, from ourselves, is at this point, how much magnanimous, living, liquid, light, harmony, heart, purposefulness, and passion we would like to get. How much of that can you handle?
Yes.
How much of that can you handle?
Yes.
We're right here, right now. And any amount is okay. Any amount is okay. Our job as truth tellers and star revealers, speaking star language, is to remind ourselves, Nicole and I, and everybody out there, that this is one of those cycles with the planets Fortuna, where the planets aligned and the planets are speaking, even if they're retrograde. Mercury sounds a trumpet on August 11th, as he doesn't just go direct. He goes direct in Leo. The sun is strongest in Leo. July 31st, closed in certain parts of the world with the Mercury Cazimi, the Mercury kissing the face of the sun, Mercury and the sun joining forces together to say, and I said, let there be light, and there was light. The I am, the light of the all that is. So we've got that going on with Mercury saying, okay, hear ye, hear ye. This is the proclamation and the truth telling of the heavenlies and the all it is, in a way that conforms and that you can hear and understand. We simply ask, will thou hear?
Yeah. I would say, I mean, we're heading into the Lion's Gate. We're ramping up to that. So meditations, this is where you really can benefit. The energies are very powerful. You should be definitely amplifying, increasing your meditations right now. But I would say that on the 10th, 11th, as this energy is coming together of Jupiter, Venus, and Sirius in Cancer here, all lining up, this is a fantastic time for downloads, because we're talking Venus, which is all about love and feminine currents and value, and Jupiter is all about the truth and higher knowledge and blessings and expansion, and Cancer is those ancestral waters and the sacred feminine and your emotional DNA. And then you have Sirius that's bringing in that divine intelligence, the galactic memory, like all of that. So there's this beautiful cosmic reunion in the sky between the inner feminine and divine intelligence. So this is where we're talking about the original temple of the mother, and it's a very big transmission point, for ascended souls. This is something to really capitalize on. So definitely don't let these dates go unutilized.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, because it is embryonic, it is evolutionary, but it's embryonic. It is that this isn't, and we don't get that every year. We have the signs of Cancer, the mother, and Leo, the patriarchal. We get that, as we look at the star, dances. But this year especially, with it's like Regulus, the constellation, the heart of the lion. This year has a stimulus that's involved with it, that's saying that we are seeing collectively and incredibly individually, if we will receive the restoration of our divine self and the activation of the all that is, again, in a language that makes sense to you. That's a personal choice that God gave us all, the Creator gave us all. So this has to do with how much I amness. Are you going to want to be really cognizant of this? And how can you? Because when you up your ampage of your light and your commitment and passion and your purpose, it comes with, when you're making more money, when you're busier at work, it comes with responsibility. You're making a deeper and deeper and deeper commitment with what it is you're going to do for work, what it is you're going to do in your relationship, what it is you will or will not do with your spirituality, what you will do and have a knowing with your connection with the all that is, God, Creator, or how society can influence that for you, how much you allow the external voice or the internal voice and knowing to coincide with each other. This is a very revelatory time until we get to August the 21st and 22nd. This is like, I'm going to blaze this light. I'm going to pump it up in here. I'm going to make it so hot you'll notice the temperature. And I'm going to have you ask and know everything right here that you would like to have specifics on. Yet it's available through your intuitive antenna, through your ancestral DNA, through your ability to connect with how you are loved, the celebration of the inner child, whatever way that this lifetime measures age, to always congratulate and to always protect and to always know that your inner child holds a key with the ancient ones and that wisdom, and they dance well together. It's that whole grandparent-kid thing, Noni Mima thing. And then you have the ability to be the very sacred spark of light that you are. And these planetary changes and wheels of orbits going around both on sky and earth are telling us we are being recalibrated. We are being allowed to see some of the majesty, a lot of the responsibility, and the courage it takes to say, yeah, I'll be more responsible. Yeah, you know what? If I say what I mean, I'll say it like I mean it. And after a few experiences with too many mixed signals or second guessing, this is like the voice that comes to you and say, you've always had the answer all along. You simply had to ignite it. You simply had to accept it. You've had the power all along, Dorothy, to get back home in The Wizard of Oz. All you had to do was click your heels 3 times with them red glitter shoes there and say there's no place like home. That was an affirmation and an acknowledgement of there is, that's present tense as well as future, but there is, it's a declaration, it's a trumpet. There is no place like home. So when we move from this Cancerian energy and that former Capricorn full moon, the mother and the father, Cancer, the mother, Capricorn, the father, the patriarchal, the one in control on the yang side, and we come into Leo and Aquarius. This is about our ancientness, the wisdom that never will be out of style or out of time or old-fashioned from the ancestral elder knowings of spirituality and divine connection. They pass that stuff on cave walls and dreams and visions and petroglyphs. It's there. It's on scrolls and Knights Templars and things, running around talking about these things, timeless, deathless, birthless. When you have a knowing that something is a truth for you, your own voice returns with confidence. And so it illuminates you. It lights the path in front of you. And even if you're doing menial chores or errands, it brightens others' day. That's what we're receiving right now in a vast part of the uploads of how Leo can be good for us, is that we can take whatever heavenly doctrine or scroll or tablet that we choose to be as a discipline in our life spiritually, whatever you choose that's comfortable for you. For some people it's nature, for other people it's the Holy Ghost. So a whole range of things. And so whatever you make palatable with that, and you say, when that talks to me, I will listen, because so far it's batting 1,000, absolutely on course. When we can learn to listen and then hear it and receive it, such is that kite formation, such is that Trinity, such is that the I am that I am, as above, so below thing, all activated right now, all the way into that August 21st, 22nd vibration. I think real strong days of this month, regardless of sign, but as bearing witnesses to all the richness that Augusto has to give us, this 8th month of the year of our Lord of 2025. There's an energy that starts to bloom. It starts actually on the 7th of August. So there's a little bit of looking back, like that was an interesting thing I saw that day. That was an interesting dream I had that talked. So there was a seed was planted on August 7th, 2025. Full moon starts to bloom. Lionsgate, August 8th, full moon, boom. August 9th, Venus and Jupiter, the 10th, the 11th, Mercury direct in the Lion sign. So there's this energetic dance that's happening right now. So are you noticing that even though our attention has to go from point B to point D, instead of just A, B, C, there's a different kind of order, but it's an order that's not bound by time. And we don't have to worry about a curtain being pulled back, that we're doing the illusion, because the light is taking care of anything delusional or that is an illusion for us at this time. If we choose to see it, that indeed is our choice. But there's going to be a lot of truth served up on a platter going, you good with this? This is good for you. That's what's going on right now. It's very intense.
Yeah.
It's enlivening. It's game-changing. And it really is your opportunity, no matter whatever society or anybody else or cultural told you you couldn't do, because somehow there was an attempt to suppress your light. Yeah, not now. No, not now. Receive the waterfall of the stars. Receive it, because it's here. It's literal. It's real. If you can claim it, if you can receive it.
Yeah. Well, and with that, we should jump into the crazy weather report for all signs
Yes.
of what's in store for each person according to their sign. Mary, I'll let you take it away wherever you want to start.
Thank you, ma'am. So audience, as an overarching energy signature that Nicole and I have wanted to present to you with love from our hearts and our wish and command for you to have divine understanding, the Leo energy is something that's leading your answer regardless of a full moon or Mercury going direct. The Leo is the main stage for you to look at that's illuminated in your chart until we get to the 22nd of August. So all of us, regardless of our signs, yes, of course, some elements favored more than others but will that make them too lazy? Sometimes when we're favored by celestial events, we procrastinate, we get a little lazy, we get a little lax, and that's, I'm not putting judgment on, not putting shade on, I'm just saying I've done it. It happens. People have talked about it to me, and sometimes maybe we needed that afternoon in the hammock or that nice luxuriating bath. So remember, don't forget that Leo is about, when's the last time you did something really nice for you? How might you gift yourself at this point? For me, sometimes the gift to myself is I get that errands done and I've taken care of what needed to be recalibrated, taken care of, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, I don't have to deal with it anymore. Everything's legal. Everything's legit. Good to go. Off my mind. Bye-bye now. And so I can really be in the present. So that's kind of, for all of us, the next big thing is that we had that shift already in the March-May dance of Saturn and Neptune in the first sign of the zodiac, Aries. So this full moon in Aquarius has got an Aquarian Aries flavor. So if you're an Aries, our first sign, so for Aries, the way that this aqua energy, the way that this water bearer is sending you some more starlight to be able to help you feel really easy peasy in receiving the illumination, the main message is that it gives Aquarius right now an ability to trust that it's time for a new beginning. It's an 11th house bloom. So I kind of coined a term a couple decades ago that the 11th house was the dream weaver. So if we're wanting to weave, we receive dreams, we have dreams, but then when we're a dream weaver, we're becoming a little more of a magi, of a magician, or an alchemist, or on the team of wanting to manifest something that can be inspirational, courageous, and fascinating for us as well as who we encounter. When we're wanting to manifest something like that, that's when you start to get into the dream weaver. Dream weaver. Show me, let me, I comply. So it's that strategic decision that we make, which faces anybody that has a strong Aries component, an Aries overarching element, a sun, a moon, a rising sign that's being illuminated by the stars. Aquarius is the stars. It's the heavens above. It's the river of stars. It's the dream lodge. It's the legend and lore of all the constellations. I think it's a really fun thing to do when we have an Aquarius moon. If you want to look up something for a research kind of nougat on the internet, I would like to know the legend and lore of the different points of my solar sign. If I'm an Aquarius, or I'd like to go into the constellation of Aquarius or the constellation of Leo, and I would like to know what are the little legends and lores and glyphs and symbols in that. That's kind of what's happening to Aries. We've got this, Saturn is the foundation, how you will build it, how it will take steps. So you may go backwards, you may go forwards, but there will be steps in building something quicker, but not necessarily so secure, or the choice to go, no, I want the long one. I want to build that thing that I want to do in a way that it's protected, its foundation is strong. Might take me a little longer than somebody else jumping on that bandwagon to build up that neighborhood or do this or that in the garden, but I want my foundation. I want the foundation good. That's Saturn. That's giving a damn at the beginning, to do it right the first time, and to think about not just what you're thirsty for right now or hungry for right now, but the win multiple times. It's in Aries. Neptune dissolves illusions, and Neptune has left Pisces, and now it's in the sign of Aries. And so for Aries right now, everything that's transformational, that's been on your desire list, I'm drawn to that. I want that. I can taste it. I can feel it. I know that it's a missing element in my life, intimately and emotionally. All of these types of planets are helping you look at yourself and say, stop looking at what was, what they did, what they could have, should have done. It starts with you. The buck stops here. It's all about your ability to embrace that transformative. It's your time, Aries. It's your time. This is your time. And you've got, when Mars goes into Libra on August 6th, you've got this timeline of Mars in your polarity sign. Mars doesn't want to fight in Libra, but it might trigger some of that resentment. If it's there, it might kind of do a little foundational shake on how good is, you might want to replace that hose or that grommet so it doesn't go into an entire plumbing problem. So it's like Neptune might say, if you could just let that last hurt go, if you could just let that sit on the shelf for a while and really be more focused on the present. You still got it. Look, there it is. You can bring it on any day you want to look at it. But let's be more present with what you can do now, because before that event, before that scenario in your life ever happened, you were functioning anyway. So stop giving it so much power. If the divine source swept it out of your life in an odd shock and awe type of, I wasn't ready, that was too fast, thank God it wasn't worse than it was. So Aries is like the fire it's like the boom, it's when the flame first takes off. I feel it's a very active time for Aries, even though there's a lot of planets retrograde. I do feel it's a very, very active time for them. So there's this dynamic that's going on for those that have the Aries energy, that it's like, this is life-changing. And August 1st of 2025 started a whole emotional weather report for you, Aries, that has to do with simply this: to thine own self be true. That's what's going to heal you. That's what's going to liberate you. To thine own self be true. And my follow-up affirmation as I was going into the education of the dream lodge when we dream at night would be, as I was breathing and relaxing my breathing and beginning to fall asleep, Aries, I would say, all is well with my soul. All is well with my soul. And just let that be the new version of counting sheep with your mind to let yourself fall asleep. If you're a Taurus, this is a 10th house, top of the chart, lunar light up. It's like the comfort of two kids swinging in a play set on the swings. Just good old-fashioned little metal framed play set, and you got your buddy or your sibling there, and you're just, the person you get along with, and you're just having like a nice going into sunset to twilight time of it's the end of school, it's the end of the day, it's after dinner, and I can just go swing on the swing for a while. And to a country person in the mountains like this, it might be, go sit on the porch for a while in that rocker and in that swing. So it's that what's swinging, what's leveling out, that contemplative moment where you appreciate, as Taurus does, the real wonders of being a soul in a creature body, in a temple that was created by some kind of debatable, wonderful, incredible, at times, can I even understand it, divine force field that illuminated me and you to talk and walk and experience this, and yet not let our soul ever be owned by anything of just the material world. So the Taurus element right now is experiencing a square from the moon. So it's like it would be like there would be an animal out in nature. There's like this elk, that's Taurus, the deer, that's Taurus. Instead of it being Sasquatch or Bigfoot, all of a sudden the animal sees like this other alien creature that landed out there in the pasture or the field, and the alien creature is like just needing a place to kind of check out the forest so he doesn't disturb the human freaks. So, and the deer looks up like, I don't know what that is. And, I would imagine that it would be the same experience. Taurus feels things. It's very tactile. I imagine it would be the same experience if I rescued a baby fledgling, a baby bird, and I'm a different kind of creature. I'm a bigger and a taller creature that certainly could bestow gentleness, the Earth Mother, the Taurus, the Earth sign gentleness, to be able to bestow a protection that, let me get you to safety, let me put you back over by the nest so your mother and your father birds can come save you, kind of a thing. It's like that choice of, oh yeah, I'll do my part to get you over to a safe, protected spot, and I'll get out of the way. There's a big part of it. And I'll get out of the way so nature can do its thing. Kind of going on with you, Taurus, right now. These are strategic times, Taurus, to negotiate any struggles. Negotiate it first in your mind, then allow the other side of the potential manifestation, the other side of the business, to use an example, to answer you like, well, our business will do dot, dot, dot for dot, dot price. And so then the Taurus thinks about it and says, well, with dot, 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 and dot, 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 also what's all included with that price? So it's like the details of the deal. So it's very strategic for you, Taurus. I also feel with Jupiter going into Cancer, Venus now in the sign of Cancer as August begins, that the most benefic combination of Venus and Jupiter, and the sun's not even fighting with it. It's just like it's like this, like, hi, and here's this wonderful little, drone of beauty that's flying in the sky over here. And don't worry, I don't have loud fireworks or sounds. I'm just like, look, it's pretty up in the sky. So it's just a little moment, just a little nanosecond of two for you to reset your whole what's important to you now, Taurus. So from any struggles that have been from pain management attempts or financial upgrades or checking in on the paperwork and dotting your I's and crossing your T's on the receipt box, kind of a thing, or checking that program online to make sure that it didn't get hacked, bring it modern, bring it past. The most important thing that matters is the key word I want Taurus to hear is it's a strategic time. It's a strategic time to negotiate. There's that receiving again. And it's also because you're negotiating and Mars is going into Libra for most of the month, both ruled by Venus. Taurus and Libra are both ruled by Venus, and Venus happens to be one of the stars of this month. What that's saying to you is that you deserve it. Are you ready? So Gemini, it's ninth house, and ninth house is visionary. It's educational. It's allowing a broader spectrum, going afield, doing it's just like, I want to talk to somebody over in Costa Rica. I don't know why I'm so fascinated by what's going on in Italy. It's that something that's like capturing that, or it's reinvented itself again. There's something to do with the ninth house of what invigorates me in conversation or negotiation or discussion. So for Gemini, it's always that whole communication field. And now, as we were talking about, Nicole and I both with our versions of the same thing, just said in different ways, Uranus now in Gemini brings the awe factor, and I'm spelling that W-E. Uranus in Gemini brings the shock and awe, but it's the awe part that's stronger than the shock part. And most people, when they hear shock and awe, they're just kind of, roll. Is that going to come at me easy, or is that going to be a hard kick from the behind? So for Gemini right now, Pluto in Aquarius getting along with the Gemini in the sky, as well as the sign of Gemini. Mars going into the other air sign of Libra is trining that dance. And then we also have Jupiter and Venus in Cancer in your second house. So for Gemini, I think this is a breather time. This is, you better take care of your own ass. You know, take care of your needs. Look at what's going on, Gemini. Stop being so scattered. Stop running all over the place, especially as of the 11th of August. All the little glitches will kind of quieten down, and you'll get to see where you really are best suited to spend your time. Best suited to spend your time in your what? Your life currency frequency energies. If you're a Cancer, this is mysterious. This is fascination. This is probably a safe, alluring thing rather than just allure. For Cancer, it can be there's something alluring, fascinating, feels safe. You know, you've checked all the boxes. You're going ahead with the next interest in it. For Cancers right now, Jupiter there, big plus, big shield of salvation and grace. Last time Jupiter was in Cancer was 12 years ago. So like do the math, do the 12 behind the 2025, and you're kind of looking at that little, I'm guessing, it's quick right now, I'm talking live, 2013 type of energy somehow that's coming to mind. Mars going into Libra squares that Cancerian habitual, this is how I nurture myself. I need a little bit of this. So, you know where you're comfortable, and when you set your own limits as far as, gotta take a day for myself. Whoop, gonna do 2 hours of this, and then I'm gonna go take care of my relationship. So there's a regulation that's going on while Mars is in the sign of Libra to attend to the things in your life that matter the most. And we all go in cycles. 1 year it's work, another one it's a new relationship, another year it's a divorce, another year it's a move, another year it's, whoa, I got to get that little health itty thing taken care of. So there's a lot of different things that seem to be like the big damn deal of a certain season or a year. So if you're a Cancer right now, you're on that treadmill, you're on that runway, you're working it out, you're working at it. If you're Leo, big medicine moon, the sturgeon full moon invokes that, the wild fish and the river leaping out type of a thing. It has to do with focusing not so much on bird totems and deer and elk and lions, but it also has to do with the aquatic world. And so for Leo right now, the balance to the king of beasts, the lion, the king of the mammals, is the Aquarian energy of how the sky and the sea connect. And I want to spell that also another way, how the sky eyes and the S-E-E, and how the sky, S-K-Y, and the S-E-A. So we have a visual of it that we can feel what that feels like when we're looking at the sky and the shoreline, when we're looking at the sky and we're looking out into the oceans, whether you're on a cruise ship or you're on land or you're watching the video and all of a sudden you're just captivated. Hopefully you're outside and experiencing the view. And then you add the star component to it if you've ever been on the deck of any kind of big ocean liner, and then you're up on the top of the deck. My first experience with that was certainly a moment of awe. To actually be up there, feel something moving in the deepest aspects of the water that my little creature body didn't want to get into, and then to also add just, I'm looking at a 360-degree orbit literally of the sky up there. I mean, the portrait of the sky, even though I was on a ship, even though I was moving through waters, uncharted waters I'd never been into this lifetime, and I could feel the star medicine. I mean, I'd heard about it, I'd studied it, I'd ceremonied it, but then I felt it rain on me. So that's an energy that's going on with Leo right now. It is a time of the quenching of the thirst and the power of the one that has ascended, baptized, communed totally with all the pluses and minuses of what it is that they have walked into and they're committing to on the path. So this is not just another Leo cycle. It's a very odd cycle to any astrologer, the amount of retrogrades, the signs they're in, the sign changes that are going on already by the time we arrive to August of 2025. This is, I feel, This is a very, if not top two place of the most transformative month of 2025. It kicked off with the Mercury retrograde, the Cazimi. The Mars in Libra puts the spotlight on our most private, secretive relationships, teamwork, all that, all about finding the sweet spot of balance. And that's a lot of work sometimes. This full moon in Aquarius, Leo, happy birthday, Leo, is offering some of the serious aha epiphany moments. It is a barn dance. It's a barn dance, and probably aliens are assuming whatever costume they want to. So if you're, Leo, it is really all about you. Even if you try to run and hide, it's still all about you, and it's going to find you. So if you're a Virgo, number one, if you're a Virgo sun or rising sign, here's the good news: health, connections, solutions. It's that charismatic connection. It happened. It's here. It's my time. This is awesome. I am. I've accomplished this. I'm rising up, so the 5 planets in retrograde had you maybe in a little bit of a longer time frame of what it is you were going to come to face, what it is that you were going to make a decision. You know what? I'm course correcting it, period. That's what I'm going to do. This is a little bit too much of that. And so I feel like with Virgo, with it lighting up your 6th house, it could be that 3 to 4 day period of where you're getting the resolutions, you're actively participating in it, and it is absolutely the solution to whatever could be the irritant, as well as being the answer to the question. So I see a lot of things coming together. I see a lot of the charismatic energy for Virgo. Virgo is like there's an alignment that's happening that Virgo sees and recognizes, and they may have even kept it all to themselves. But that stimulus of Uranus and Gemini and stimulating that mercurial connection, and the fact that we started this month with the light of the Mercury Sun Cazimi, you Virgos, and then we also have Mercury going retrograde in Leo, and that lights the inner pathway for Virgo as well over August 11th. So this whole dynamic of like a really, it's like, here's the spotlight. There it is over there. There's the fairground. It's over there. Look, there's a big spotlight. That's where the rave's going to be. That's where the event's going to be. So Virgo, I feel like it's the pieces of the puzzle come together, and it's a completed task. If you're Libra, the Libra energy here is phenomenal. It's been 2 years since Mars has moved into your sign, as it did in early August. You've got Uranus and Gemini. You're already kind of sort of getting used to how things can get wild and woolly and fast, and you thought that door was closed, and in he walked. So that Pluto and Aquarius stuff. So Libra, when Mars finally gets there in your sign and ignites the rocket ship, it's launch time. That's what I'll say. It's launch time for Libra's sign. So I see you far away. I see indigenous cultures. I see travels. I see adventures. I see bravery. I see brave hearts, bucket list, newfound spiritual awakenings, and well-received truths and the blessing way of the divine recognition. And I also see in the 3D world that it's more of any kind of contractual or legal, if you're in sales, if you're in real estate, if you're in marketing type of a thing, if you're a person that writes the ads for the podcast or the vendors. I feel like it's a very dynamic time for that. It's not only got a spotlight, it's a charismatic conclusion. We'll say that. So Libra, I'm not spending a lot of time on you, but it's a good time. Go have fun. So if you're Scorpio, it's the 4th house. So Leo's always a big damn deal for the sign of Scorpio anyway. Scorpio's already getting adjusted to the balance of Leo, Pluto, and Aquarius. Now Scorpio has a water sign sister. It's got a couple of them, cousins, sisters. It's got Venus and Jupiter. So there's this, Nicole was talking about it, there's this dance with chance around Scorpio. And I feel that Scorpio is more or less kind of coming out of a hiatus. I feel like the Scorpio is like, well, I don't have to be stealth all the time, I think I will make my first statement, make my first move. So you're going to see a different kind of Scorpios might be appearing a little more friendly. They may be a little more available. They may decide that they're going to reveal a little more of what they were keeping private in their life. I don't see it being a time of, if you are that Scorpio, I don't see it being a time of intellectual snobbery or solitude. I feel like Scorpio understands now it has to reach out a little bit. It has to reveal a little more. It has to do a little self-check, course correction of self-worth, and remind themselves, if not you, honoring your self-worth, if not you, primarily all the time, but the big changes that you make, if not you, then who? If you can't see that, do that for yourself, then who? So it's a different kind of orbit for Scorpio. It's got to do with an internal spin zone, but they're doing the actions externally. Yeah, that's it. So it's a power cycle for service, what you commit to, how you're encouraging, how you're managing. It's for Scorpios that 2012, 2013 cycle, the last time Jupiter was dancing through the sign of Cancer, the crab, the moonchild energy, that's amplified for you right now. And so I feel like Scorpio, it's like you realize that you have to also be kind of like the cosmic mother. You also are to apply, don't just tell somebody they ought to discipline themselves this kind of way. Are you doing that yourself? And you don't always have to use words. You can set by example, and then they'll come to you. Kind of encapsulated like that. So the charismatic magic wand for Scorpio is that you're seeing how the past is now enabling a better future, a more resplendent present. If you're Sagittarius, third house, Pluto and Aquarius like Sag, Uranus and Gemini is opposite Sagittarius. So they're Sagittarius, they're kind of getting a look again at some fresh motivations. They need some fresh motivations. They need to feel needed in some sense. They're reaching, they're simultaneously, the charismatic energies are happening as them being both a student again, and they always feel like there's a teaching involved. If they bother to study anything with diligence, then the Sag wants to take the meat and potatoes of that, and they just want to kind of stick to the facts and drive it ahead. Sagittarius is somehow always driving, somehow always the arrow in motion. So this kind of exemplifies that because it's a third zone, third house, full moon in Aquarius, and so it's not contentious with Sagittarius at all. And so I see that motivational, it's like the way I describe it, if I was talking to a couple of Sagittarius men, friend of mine, would be like, look, it's a green light and nobody's in your lane. See ya. I mean, that's like bliss for them. It's like, oh my God, there's nobody blocking my ability to go down the interstate, at a very reasonable speed. Like, who are all these people on my highway and why aren't they paying attention? So if you really want to see a Sagittarius energy in action, kind of got to tell you, it's either Sagittarius person or kind of who you become when your third house is activated. So for Sagittarius right now, this is an activation of their third house. So if you're one of those Sagittarian truck drivers or delivery people or Uber or Lyft or whatever, at-home service of one of the big vendors, this is really about the charismatic connection can have to do with the motion and the meaning behind where you're going. And I know you can put that together because you're Sagittarius. So then next, our earth sign of Capricorn. You guys got lit up last month. You got that was your big full moon in July. So this is a second realm, second house an ignition switch, light switch for you, Capricorn. The big thing for you, Capricorn, to focus on, no matter what full moon it is that the assistance for you right now is Jupiter being in the sign of Cancer, although that's technically an opposition. And right now, most of this month, Venus till the end of the month, being in the sign of Cancer as well. What that's doing for you is blessing your seventh house, blessing your realm of, am I paying enough attention to my personal life, my private time? If I have a lover, my partner, my teammate? This is kind of your time, Capricorn. Kind of pay attention more to the significant other, but this full moon in Aquarius is also blessing what you value mostly, what values you mostly, and so both directions that's coming at you. The charismatic consciousness for you, Capricorn, has to do with your ability to watch your step. Don't put yourself last, especially when it comes to health, nutrition, wellness, your sleep schedule, however that tries to start manifesting. Put a leash on that one, because you don't want to get yourself overdrained, overtired, because there's a positivity and there's incentives that are coming up in the second half of August that this full moon's kindly got you in the mental zone. So make sure you're taking care of you, number one question, Capricorn, and then know that there's transformational energies coming at where you live, what state, what city. You may find odd things going on in the news about the Tri-City area around you. It's like you're kind of looking environmentally right now. Am I still blooming, planted here? And do I want to sell this or actually relocate? Those kind of things are floating around Capricorn right now. And finally, we move into the Aquarian energy, the sign of this full moon. And the Aquarian energy is saying to you, it seems like my life is so quirky and so odd and so different. It's like I'm literally going on an inside scrub. I'm walking through a kind of spiritual car wash right now. So there are huge changes. Any astrologer worth their salt would say, oh, you're Aquarius. Oh, you're an Aquarius rising, ascendant. Okay, yes. Here's your main affirmation. The only constant this year is change. Change going to happen. Now, your charismatic alchemy, your magic wand is, we've already given you the big answer. This is a year of change. This is a year of changes. And so we want you to get your archetype of one who can feel that she is one with the flow of the all that is. So there's like of course, it's Aquarius. There's frequencies and empowerment and enlightenment that's going on. Zoom, zoom, zap, zap, buzz, buzz. So there's a lot of activity, like bees buzzing, because it's honeycomb time, and the queen is, we got to do this. We're the drones. So it's like that right now. Everything's a buzz around the Aquarian person, the Aquarian rising, the strong Aquarian, as well as that area of all of our charts emotionally. Now, Aquarius, as Nicole said earlier, tends to be detached, so they can see the bigger picture. What's just ahead? Is the far ahead win going to be better or weakened? So Aquarius right now is gathering information, examining and allowing free flow of intuitive feeling. And it's going to bless you for that, but expect to be somewhat amplified. You're okay, that's it. You're both an amplifier and you're going to be amplified. Make the choice that the amplification, the turning up the volume with you, will be your higher self, your best version of self, and allowing that alchemy to take place. So if you're Pisces, this full moon is the full moon before your sign. Your full moon, which is an eclipse, is coming up in September. My two favorite full moons every year, they're very intense, they're very emotionally empowering and educating, is when the moon is full in Scorpio and when the moon is full in Pisces. And so we have that coming in September when Nicole and I talk to you again. The full moon in Pisces is like the big veil is pulled back, if any. I'm not saying we all have veils, not judge anybody. The veil gets pulled back. At least the affirmation is, now will you see this is what's in front of you? This is a manifestation. Yay or nay will change the slide. So for you Pisces right now, this full moon has a lot to do with emptying the trash basket and allowing you to not have to always be that empathic sponge or responding with grand emotional reaction, action, all in the same orbit, because Pisces can be a spiritual sponge, an intuitive sponge. They can be so acutely aware of how much it can hurt or impede someone when they feel rejected or not accepted or left out. So the Pisces compassion that is often both the blessing and the curse for any Pisces I've ever dealt with is that they understand the blessing part of it. They always seem to be shocked by the curse part of it, because what beguiles and bewitches a strong Piscean empath is that I was only good to that person. Why would they do that? I never lied to them. They asked me a question. I was always there for them. If you're truthful with yourself, did I give expecting them to always give to me in return if I needed it? Or was that person, or was I that person that just always gave them the soft place to land, let them be who they were, and then they actually got the great spiritual gift of that compassion in action, and yet they decided, I'm better now, bye-bye. So Pisces kind of carries that kind of a medicine bag. So this Aquarius full moon is saying to you, Pisces, I am the automatic magical broom that is sweeping anything for you, because Pisces likes that part, do it for them, sweeping out that closet of the dust and the muck and the mire and the mud and the flood and the mood and the mercy and the question. If you will, I'm your charismatic broom, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to keep the good stuff. I'm going to keep the good stuff. I know, I can read it. I'm going to keep the good stuff, and I'm going to just clean. I'm just going to do a clean sweep. There's actually a psychical ceremonial thing that is a psychic clean sweep, and it's where you as a human, you in your mind, you outdoors in that ceremony by that fire, you don't have to do anything but allow and just listen. You don't have the grade to do. You don't have homework. You're not required to answer afterwards. It's just simply creating that outdoor safe place where you can simply say, I'm putting this on the altar. I don't even have to describe it. I'm putting this on the golden throne of the Christ, resurrected Christ. However you need to see it, visualize it, comply with it, know that you're activating that holy medicine. I write this on paper. I throw this in the fire. A whole great spirit, great mystery. I am one with all that is, and I am grateful. So as you are doing whatever prayer, ceremony in your mind or physically participating, for you, Pisces, this is especially that ceremony that says you no longer have to carry the weight of anyone else's pain. That's the medicine. That's the connection. That's the charismatic supernatural healing that's going on for Pisces right now. You can love them. You can get annoyed with them. You can get irritated with them. But Pisces, it's long past that event. You do not need to carry that memory, that medicine anymore. Simply that when it comes to something that you escaped, when it comes to something you rose up again and believed after a pattern or an addiction or a huge life kick in the ass, prison or whatever, prescription or prison, you rose again and you had purpose, and you say things like, it changed me. It changed me. Now, this is that full moon that says it doesn't matter anymore for you to define it if it's made you more bitter or it's made you better, Pisces. I am the gift of the divine star urn from above, as above, so below, that is now activated. And if it is by your permission, and if it is that you can receive, Pisces, I will actually be the broom that sweeps out with ever so soft and gentle bristles, not even hurting any kind of bug that might be in the closet clutter. Everything is saved. Everybody gets a pass. We're done here. Nothing to see here. I'm free. Then the higher levels of love and passion and intimate grace and spirituality now can then come forth, Pisces. Watch this, hear this, because you allowed the closet to be cleared. That's the magic of the Pisces energy for this full moon in Aquarius. When a full moon happens in the sign before the sign that you are, it is a medicine moon of clearing and also the vault of heavens opening up for you. If you will hear, if you will see. Your choice, no judgment, but it is that moon. And for Pisces, this is that moon. And if they've done a lot of healing work and they've gotten awareness at least of something that can be addictive or self-destructive, then what this full moon is doing, as well as, oh, goody, you figured that out. Let's level up. Let me show you how wonderful it can be. Let me show you, if you do the work, how you bounce and how you arrive. Let me show you your future self. It's real too. So instead of giving all just that attention to the past version of yourself, look up in here. Ready? Snap, snap, let's go. Rocket's launching. That's the Aquarian moon to me. The rocket changes space, goes to space, is in the stars, doesn't know anything about where they are, if it'll work, how it'll land, but right now the view changed. And so did the atmosphere. However it lands is a whole other subject, but Aquarius is the launch and the being fully present in the journey, to me, in my humble opinion.
Well, thank you so much for going through each of the signs. And Pisces, you finally got a little bit of a deeper one, a little more extra time. So
that's right,
you
Pisces
enjoyed
have been doing the work. Yep, they've been doing the work.
Yeah, and think about it again as we're closing out, this full moon in Aquarius is culminating something you began back at the end of January of this year. So think about what you were kind of seeds you were planting at the end of January, early February, and what's really kind of, pardon?
I'm right here.
Oh, I must have been a feedback thing. And whatever is culminating right now from that, what is being revealed, it's kind of coming up to that full reveal and culmination for you. So Mary, thank you so much for coming on again this month. I know next month we will have our lunar eclipse in Pisces, which will be a lot of fun. We've got 2 new moons in Virgo, and one of those is a solar eclipse. So, of course, if you want to catch the new moon broadcast, you got to go over to Joe Roop's podcast, Lighting the Void, and catch Mary Dusina there live on the night of the new moon. She will be doing all of the breakdowns there. And of course, if you want to book a session with her, you can reach her at marydusina.com. Of course, the links are in the description below. And of course, if there's anything that I can do to help you out in your journey, or you are looking to spend that solar eclipse doing major transformational work at the 3-day 180 retreat, then we'd love to have you there. We are 2 months away. So if you're thinking of coming, it's time to jump on and book your room, book your ticket. It will be happening at a brand new location in the heart of the mountains over near Vail, Colorado. And we're going to go galactic this time. We're going to go galactic. We're going to be making sure the ceremonies are coded to open up more of your galactic roots, your origins, your awareness, and bring in contact. So it's going to be a very special retreat. Other than that, have a wonderful full moon in Aquarius, everyone. Don't forget to capitalize on those Jupiter-Venus energies just 2 days after. And Mary, I will see you next month. Guys, we love you. Have a great month.
Thanks again for joining me for another show on the Enlighten Up podcast. I love you guys so much for all of your continued support. So remember to raise your vibe, find your tribe, and be open to the infinite possibilities held in the mysteries that surround us all. Thanks again for sharing the show with your family and friends. And if you're new to the show and you need to find out more information about me, please head on over to my website, NicoleFrolick.com, where you can join my newsletter. And please follow me on Instagram, Telegram, and YouTube. Keep your light bright, and I'll see you next week.